Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King. And today I'm going to be giving you part 34 of What If Naruto Was Given a Second Chance. Remember to get this one, the 300 like as usual, share this to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto. Unlock a secret power over an Anime King 2 and enjoy that guys. And also, I posted a new episode of What If Naruto Was Neglected and Had the Red Rinnegan on this channel, so go ahead and check out that as well guys. And remember, if you're new and this is the first time you hear my voice, and you enjoy the videos on both Anime King and Anime King 2, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new, I'll be replying talking back to all of you. So yeah, without further ado, what do you say begin this new episode? Start the intro. So the last time we left off, Sasuke and his brother were clashing violently, the both of them, on some equal footing. As Itachi wanted to see how strong Sasuke has gotten, he never planned to win this match, as he wants Sasuke to take his life. As Sasuke was fighting and clashing back against him, even destroying the hideout. Meanwhile outside, Kisame was having the time of his life. Facing off against the Konoha ninjas, he filled the entire place with water, and with them literally standing in water, his attacks were a lot more deadlier and violent, as Hinata was knocked under the water as he emerged right in front of her. But before he could attack her, a dragon Rasengan smashed into him that sent him sailing. As Naruto arrived, Kisame was ecstatic to see Naruto as Naruto told all of them to get back. He didn't want his lightning ability to affect them right in the water, as Kakashi told him to move, as Naruto told him to not interfere with Sasuke's fight when they go over there. They all knew that Sasuke, including Sakura, need to do this on his own. As Naruto faced off against Kisame, the both of them started to clash violently. With Kisame using the water at his advantage, he's a lot stronger, but Naruto still had the edge. And after what he received from the Sanbai, there was a boost in his water affinity. The Sanbai host always has a massive water affinity, seeing that Yagura was able to manipulate the water just like Sekino Kage, literally pulling the moisture from the air. As Naruto clashed against Kisame, testing his blade, the both of them going at it furiously. Kisame was enjoying the battle, as he loved to fight strong opponents. Meanwhile, Sasuke and Itachi were now panting heavily, as Sasuke could tell that Itachi was not taking him fully serious. So Sasuke called the lightning from the skies. Itachi had to create his Susanoo to block it. Sasuke called out his Susanoo as the both of them started to clash violently. Meanwhile, Kisame created a water dome and trapped Naruto inside. Naruto had to hold his breath, creating an army of shadow clones as Kisame was a lot faster, clashing into Naruto as Naruto entered Sage mode, making his fists, his entire body enhance, as the both of them clashed violently, until Naruto went out of it using a clone that he summoned in the forest a bit earlier before arriving to switch place with. As he went on top of the spear, Naruto held out his hand as he created a thunder fist, three elements coming together, as Kisame merged all of the water around him, going straight towards Naruto with a last, final blast of everything. The both of them collided and created a boom that exploded, washing away everything around, completely destroyed the area. As Kisame's body was literally fried from the inside out, Naruto attacked completely obliterating him. But at least he died with a smile on his face, going up against such a strong opponent as Naruto went down. He then made his way. Sasuke was furious. He couldn't go on. He needed to understand the truth. Why did Itachi do it? Itachi saw how broken he had left his brother. He decided to tell him. As he knew about Naruto, he knew that Naruto was the one that saved Sasuke from a dark path. So he decided to tell him, as he showed Sasuke everything. But Sasuke's body gave out as he collapsed, leaving Itachi still alive, but barely, because he was going to die in time soon. when Naruto arrived. As Naruto told him that he would look after Sasuke, Itachi was surprised that Naruto knew about the massacre, but how? And he also told him that he would deal with the fate Madara. As that was surprising, but he couldn't argue or say anything at the moment. He could just leave his fate that Naruto could protect his brother, and at least save this world. Stop the masked man from whatever plan he's doing, as Itachi collapsed dead. As Naruto sealed away his body, as he leaned Sasuke up against the wall who was still unconscious. As he also sat down, he really needed a vacation. So yeah guys, it was basically last where I left off. You guys can switch across to the PlayStation TikTok for yourself. So let's begin this new episode. We begin this episode in a dark cave, where Obito was. He was currently sitting down his back, rest against the wall, his mask currently to his side. He has just received the information that pissed him off once more. Itachi and Kisame has been killed. Sasuke had finally get revenge for his clan and killed his brother. As Obito wondered if only Sasuke knew the real reason why Itachi killed all of the Uchihas. The real reason behind all of this. The real reason behind his pain. Right now, Obito was getting rather desperate. Things weren't looking up in his favor. The golden blur yet again took out another member of the Akatsuki with pronounce and show of strength. Because he didn't get wounded or go on his knees in the battle, he defeated Kisame without pushing himself to an absolute limit, once again showing how powerful he is. Nagato is dead set on facing off against him, thinking that he cannot lose because he called himself a god. Obito knew if Nagato was to march into Konoha with Jiraiya of the Sannin, Sasuke and the golden blur there, his 6 paths would be destroyed rather easily. But Obito had an idea that he's going to run by Nagato. The man is getting quite hard to control. He's getting arrogant. He's getting feisty, thinking that he can destroy Naruto just because he possessed those eyes. But either way, the both of them are going to battle, but not at Konoha, because to make the golden blur fall, you have to make him experience pain. Pain that would throw him off his game. A small smirk came on Obito's lips. He had the best idea. It's only a matter of time. And once he's out of the way, capturing the other tail beasts should be easy with him not being there to save them. Meanwhile, darkness. That was all that he saw. Nothing but darkness. Well, his eyes were closed, so why would he see light? As Sasuke felt the bed underneath him, it was quite comfortable. But he was scared to open his eyes, because if he did, he would accept reality. To realize that he has been hunting his brother for all these years, hating his brother, neglecting, wanting to kill his brother and make his brother feel unimaginable pain, just to find out that his brother wiped out the clan because they were starting a coup. He did this to save the 1,000 other people in the village. He also did this to save him, putting everything else beside, leaving him alone to survive, leaving him to make sure that he goes on, to make sure that he kills him, to make sure that he revenges the clan. Itachi had shown Sasuke everything, and it was hard to accept reality. His eyes were closed, he was too scared to open them. He didn't exactly know where you were. The last thing he remembered was collapsing after Itachi told him everything. Just being there with his brother, you could tell that his brother was dying. And nothing could stop that. The sickness had finally reached out to him, not to mention after that battle. Sasuke slowly clenched his fists. It was his fault. If he hadn't pushed his brother wouldn't have been dead right now. As tears started to build at the corner of his eyes. But that sadness that he was feeling slowly turned into anger and rage towards Danzo, the man that sent his brother to exterminate the entire... You know, crying in your sleep is pretty weird, that voice. Sasuke recognized that voice, as it made him slowly open his eyes. He didn't sense anything before. I guess I'm still out of it, he thought to himself. As he slowly turned his head, he was in an unfamiliar room. He didn't know exactly where he was, but the place looked rather nice, like some noble or daimyo's house. After all, they went to a lot of noble establishment. While he was on his training trip with Kakashi, as he turned to see Naruto off in the corner sitting on a chair, he was reading a book. not really looking up. "Where are we?" Sasuke asked, in a strained voice. His throat felt so dry. "The Fire Lord Palace," said Naruto, as he flipped a page in the book. Sasuke then turned back his head as he looked up at the ceiling. He didn't really know what to talk about. His mind was still fresh on the event. After all, Naruto was the one that told him to ask Itachi to find out the true reason, because why would his loving brother just switch and kill the entire clan? As he looked over at Naruto one more time, "You know, if there's something on your mind that you want to tell me, why don't you go ahead and do so?" Sasuke turned back as he looked at the ceiling. After a few seconds, he spoke. "You were right. You were right about everything," he said. "Is that what you want to hear? Right about what?" "It was a mission," Sasuke said, clenching his fist. "It was a mission to wipe out the Uchiha clan. You told me to find the real reason, because you never believed my brother, who was so kind, would do something so dark. And you were right. I hated him for all this time. But to find out my clan was trying to plan a coup on the village." "Is that so?" said Naruto. Sasuke narrowed his eyes. "You don't seem surprised by this," he said. "This ninja world is a twisted, corrupted place." That was all Naruto said before going back to his book. Sasuke narrowed his eyes at the vague answer, but he could kind of understand what Naruto was talking about. "Itachi showed me everything. The third Hokage wanted to find a peaceful way to stop the coup. Shisui Uchiha, a fellow member, was going to use his Sharingan, the place, a genjutsu on my father. A powerful genjutsu that my father wouldn't know that he was under, to put suggestions into his mind to change his way. But," Sasuke's fist clenched even more, Danzo Shimura. He attacked Shisui and took one of his eyes. Itachi spoke to Shisui in his final night. He left it all in Itachi's hand, but knowing that Itachi still went back, because Danzo was going to use his root to try and wipe out the entire Uchiha clan on his own, leaving no survivors. But to save me, he did it himself. He took all the pain and responsibility and killed everyone himself, leaving me behind." As tears started to flow from Sasuke's eyes. He didn't care if Naruto saw that he was crying. He couldn't hold in his emotions anymore. It was just tearing at him. As he turned back to face the ceiling, Naruto said nothing, forcing Sasuke to look over. As Sasuke saw Naruto still reading that goddamn book. "Are you angry?" Naruto asked. "Of course I'm angry," said Sasuke, as his fist clenched even more. Angry enough to attack the hidden leaf. For what happened? Sasuke went quiet for a few seconds before he narrowed his eyes at Naruto. "And what if I wanted to?" he asked. "What would you say about that?" he asked, narrowing his eyes at Naruto. "Well, I would be forced to stop you in a rather unpleasant way, because if it comes up to it, I will have to kill you." As Sasuke turned his head back to the ceiling, looking up. "No," he said. "I don't plan on attacking the hidden leaf. From what Itachi showed me, he did this. This was a sacrifice he did to protect the village. Why would I go and waste that sacrifice? The life that he used on the village to destroy it. That would make no sense." "Well, I guess your head is in the right place," Naruto says. He closed the book. "But there's still someone else that need to die." "And that is," Sasuke said. "Danzo Shimura," said Naruto. Time skip. The group was making their way back to Konoha. As Sakura, she looked over at Sasuke. He hasn't really talked much since what happened, but Naruto told her to let him have some time to clear his head. So she listened, and she wouldn't just rush over and do anything stupid. She wasn't a kid anymore, and she understood that he needs time to grieve in his own way. But if he needs her, she'd be right here for him. Kakashi was currently reading his book, but he had an eye set on Sasuke. He just went through a traumatic event. Even though he has wanted to kill his brother for so long, it still affected him. Kakashi could see that. As they were making the way, as he saw the gate up ahead. Meanwhile, at the hidden stone, Orochimaru was currently sitting down on a throne. He currently had a stack of files in his hand. As he was going through them, before placing them down, someone was standing there right in front of him. So, you still haven't located the Three Tails yet. I'm sorry, Lord Orochimaru, but I still have no idea where it is. We've been searching the entire time, but it seemed to gone in hiding. But we will continue our search. Guren. You are disappointing me, said Orochimaru, as he looked towards Guren, who seemed ashamed for hearing that from her master. And that boy, who you've been gallivanting around. If the Three Tail is not found, and he does use his special ability to ring in the beast, I will have no use for him. And you of all people should know what happened to things I don't have use for, Guren, Orochimaru said, with a sick smile on his face. Guren shuddered at the thought, thinking about what he might do to Yukimaru. Now, I insist that you up your search. I will, Lord Orochimaru, she said. You may go now, he said, as she walked away, worrying about Yukimaru and his safety. As she knew that when Orochimaru didn't have use for something, more than likely they end up dead or getting experiments on, and she didn't want that for Yukimaru. As she was thinking about the possibility of leaving, but where would she go? And how would she hide from Orochimaru? Because there would be no doubt that he would be after her for her entire life just to kill her. But her mind was running on Yukimaru. She just wanted to make sure that he was safe. Back with Orochimaru as he was sitting down, a small frown came on his face. You know, just because we're accomplices, that doesn't mean you can drop in whenever you feel like. If there isn't trust amongst accomplices, then why bother with the partnership? Said Obito, going by the persona Madara. How go the hunt for the Three Tails? Said Madara. Well, it seems like some intervention happened. The location that was given was a mistake because the three-tailed turtle is gone. Well, it doesn't matter yet. And what does that mean? Asked Orochimaru. Well, Itachi has recently been killed. Oh, is that so? Said Orochimaru. By Sasuke Uchiha himself. There is no doubt that Sasuke is getting stronger. That's more than enough benefit for us to be partners. After all, you do want his body, don't you? Said Madara. New partners, and you already know me so well, said Orochimaru. So, what is the plan now, he asks, considering that you seem to no longer want to go after the Three Tails. Well, we will still be going after it. But first, a pest need to be dealt with. Oh? And what pest is that? You should already know that. After all, he's the reason why we're partners anyway. So, are you going to be fighting the Golden Blur? Even with your skill set, from your glory days, which your name was referring, known as a legend, the Uchiha Ghost Madara Uchiha. Perhaps you could have fight him then. But the way you are right now, I can tell that you've lost most of your power. And he would kill you. Reality is just something that anyone can bend to their imagination. But you're correct. I won't be the one that will be fighting him. As much as I hate to say it, sending pain after him, I believe that you'd win anyway, Orochimaru said. Do you have that much faith in his abilities? Well, you have to understand your enemies if you're going to defeat them. And from what I've seen from the Golden Blur so far, he's far advanced. As you can see, in the bingo book he outranked all of you, going by a double S rank missing in. Well, except for you if you were in your glory days. And not to mention the flee on site order from the Hidden Stone. That alone shows you how dangerous he is. So, Nagato might claim to be a god, but I think he will fall by the Golden Blur hands. Madara said nothing for a while, making Orochimaru chuckle. Let me guess. You already thought about that possibility as well. And let me guess once again. You have a plan to fix that, don't you? Madara said nothing, as Orochimaru chuckled even more. The Golden Blur will be dealt with soon, said Madara. But what about the project that you've been working on? When the world is mourning from his death. The Akatsuki will need members. Members that can quickly gather the other tail pieces. Oh, trust me, you don't have to worry about that. What I have in store for the other Jinjulkis, there is no possible way that they can do anything against his foe. After all, Orochimaru chuckled with a smile on his face. It was even difficult for you. Meanwhile, at Konoha, outside of Tsunade's office, Naruto was currently standing at the door. As he took a deep breath in and out, Naruto-kun, what's wrong? Asked Hinata. You guys might want to stand back, said Naruto. What do you mean by that? Asked Kiba. Just trust me, said Naruto. As the others were confused, Sasuke was confused as well as he looked at Naruto. As Naruto slowly opened the door, Hey, Bachan, he said, stepping inside. I'm back. What was he so worried about? Kiba asked. I have no idea, said Sakura. Sasuke was about to step forward to go inside until they heard footsteps, like someone jogging slightly. Before, Naruto was saying sailing as he slammed right through the door as he crashed into the wall. The others' eyes went wide, thinking that Naruto was getting attacked as they were about to spring in action when they saw Tsunade leap from her office, her fist coming down towards him. As Naruto looked up, boom! What the hell? Kiba shouted, as the others were just confused by the act. Just what the hell was going on? When the dust cleared away, Tsunade's hand was embedded into the wall, right beside Naruto's head. Naruto breathed out a sigh of relief. For a moment there, I thought you were going to take my head off. Tsunade grabbed him by the collar. The next time you go off without telling me anything, I will, she said. Come on, you love me too much to really hurt me, don't you, said Naruto. After all, you looked at his stomach. You did actually hold back so you wouldn't hurt me. Am I right, he said. Tsunade got up. Try that again and we will see, she said. As she made her way inside. Naruto-kun, you alright? Asked Shizune. Yeah, I'm fine, he said, as he slowly picked himself up. The group made their way into the office. As Naruto went to have a seat, which Tsunade gave him a small glare. Alright, I'm sorry, said Naruto, but I had to go. If I didn't, she would have been taken. I know that, and because of that the Raikage is indebted to us, and also send a great deal of thanks. Wait, what's going on? Asked Kiba. Well, Naruto stopped the Akatsuki from taking the two-tailed Jinchuriki at Kumo. What? By himself, said Kiba. Yes. Who was it? Asked Kakashi. A man known as Kakazu. He's from Take. Wait. I heard of him, said Kakashi in Bingo book. He stole one of their secret jutsus to make him partially immortal. Yeah, partially. But his other partner, Hidan, he was truly immortal. What do you mean, Naruto-kun? Asked Hinata. Well, it didn't matter what I did to him. Even if I stabbed him straight to the heart, he would still get back up. Wait, said Kiba. Are you telling me that you faced off against two S-rank criminals before you got to us? Well, it was a day and couple of hours before I got you guys. But yeah, I faced off against two S-rank criminals. Kiba's sweat dropped. Do you still think that you can defeat him now? Asked Shino, whispering to Kiba. Kiba simply grumbled. Tsunade noticed the look on Sasuke's face. He seemed rather out of it. Now, report, she said. Kakashi stepped forward and told her what happened. They met up with Kisame, till Naruto got there. Through the entire thing, Sasuke remained quiet. As Tsunade and Sakura were looking at him the most, Tsunade was wondering what the Uchiha was thinking in his head, while Sakura was just worried for him. After the report was given, she dismissed Team 8, as Team 7 alone remained in the office. You know, Pervy Sage, it is rude to just stay in the window and listen like that. The least you can do is come inside, said Naruto. Huh, so you know I was here, brat, said Jiraiya. Well, I just arrived, he said, as Jiraiya hopped through the window. You're back, said Tsunade. Miss me, Hein, he said. Huh, as if she said. You're breaking my heart. Well, before the theatricals, we need to get through to some serious business. Can you tell your envoys to leave, Naruto asked, as he looked at Tsunade. This must be really important. She waved her hand and dismissed her envoys. Naruto went through hand sign and sealed off the entire room. As he turned towards Sasuke. Sasuke, I think it's time that you tell them. Tell us what? Asked Jiraiya. Sasuke lifted up his head as he turned towards Jiraiya and Tsunade. The both of them saw a look in his eyes. A look of anger, grief, and remorse. As he told them everything, Sakura, and Kakashi. Well, Kakashi was extremely shocked. All those years he thought that Itachi went crazy and slaughtered his clan just because. But to find out that it was a mission. Yes, that was rather surprising. While Tsunade and Jiraiya couldn't believe what they were hearing, as Sasuke finished telling them what happened. Jiraiya was the first one to speak, snapping out of his stupor. And you're saying that Sensei is behind this as well? No, said Sasuke. A small sigh of relief breathed from Tsunade, as she was happy that Sarutobi was not involved. He wanted a peaceful solution. He wanted to stop the violence. But the other three went behind his back, and the one that was leading the both of them was Danzo. Shinmura, Sasuke said. It was then that Tsunade and Jiraiya saw the hatred in the boy's eyes as he spoke about those three. The rage. As Tsunade will have to quell this fast, unless they will bring about another problem that was very dangerous for them to solve. Sakura looked at Sasuke. All she wanted to do was hug him and tell him that it was going to be okay. But she couldn't do that right now, as she just had to be here. Well, at least she was grateful that they would trust her with something this secretive. It made her felt apart, like she was connected with them. And for Sasuke to know that she was here and also reveal his secret like that. As Kakashi spoke, so what now, he asked. That information was, well, that could change many things. The way his people saw the elders, not to mention Danzo. So what exactly are they going to do? Isn't it obvious, said Naruto, as all of them turned towards him. We killed Danzo, he said. As they were shocked to hear that came from his lips, Sasuke was the one that was in shock. Naruto, this information, this is a very dangerous piece of information that Sasuke has gotten. But we can't just kill Danzo without any means. Itachi, as passed on as you say, we don't have any evidence to put this on Danzo. Evidence? I heard this from Itachi myself, said Sasuke. What do you mean you don't have any evidence? Calm down, Uchiha, said Jiraiya, as he noticed the boy stepping a bit too close. Well, it's a good thing that I knew that Danzo was up to something. What do you mean, asked Jiraiya. Well, I went to numerous council meetings now. I could always tell that Danzo was up to something. So while in there, I activate Sage Mode, and I could sense a different source of chakra from his arm and going up to his eye that is wrapped in that bandage. Have you ever seen what's under that, Naruto asked. Well, he looked like he's scarred, said Sakura. I've seen him once or twice before. Well, I think that he has something implanted in him, and on his other arm as well. Something very dangerous. When I sensed it, it felt like nature itself. What? Said Jiraiya. But that can't be. Yeah, that's the strange part, said Naruto. And if it isn't Sage Mode, what other kind of nature could it be? And why is this the first you're telling me this, asked Tsunade. I didn't have enough evidence. But I guess by now I do, said Naruto. And what does that mean? Asked Tsunade. Before anyone else could say anything, Naruto vanished in a yellow flash. A minute later, Naruto reappeared. You okay? He said. It can be a bit dizzy for the first time. And not to mention your chakra is sealed off, so it would be really rough to get over the dizziness. I'm fine, shithead, she said. As Naruto released Teiwaya, who started to fall, but he caught her. I guess you're not all that fine, said Naruto. Naruto, said Tsunade, breaking from his talk. What are you doing? This discussion is a private one between... Oh, I know that, said Naruto. This is something else. So tell me, did it work, Naruto asked. I guess you're not that stupid, shithead. It worked exactly as you said. What's going on, asked Sakura. As she remembered this girl. She remembered that they captured her and was getting information from her. But why were they so friendly? The others were thinking the same thing. Seeing that Tsunade was the only one that knew. Jiraiya knew that they had a prisoner from Orochimaru, but they managed to get everything that they want from her already, and she didn't know really anything else, seeing that the envoys had went to the Orochimaru bases all over the nations, but all of the bases were empty. Teiwaya then looked up to the ceiling as she reached. As she started to reach towards her eye, as the group wondered what the hell she was doing, she suddenly removed contact lenses from her eyes, before placing them down on Tsunade's table. Tsunade looked at Naruto with a confused look. Before Naruto went through hand sign, Fuin Jutsu, unraveling Senruto as he slammed his hand right on the table. A Sealna ray appeared and went around the contact lenses before a bright light illuminated the area, shining from both contact lenses, showing many seals inscribed into them. "What is this?" asked Natty. "Oh, just a seal in art," said Naruto. "This is the first time I've ever seen something of this caliber," said Jiraiya. "Oh, it's a mixture between two," actually, said Naruto. "A hologram and a protection." "Protection against what?" asked Natty. "The Sharingan," said Naruto. "The Sharingan?" Natty said, confused. "Just watch," said Naruto. Suddenly, the projection went towards a wall coming from the two lenses. It showed a cell. The cell bars. "What is this?" asked Kashi. Suddenly, two figures appear as they made their way inside. Teiwei was still chained up, but you were seeing it from her POV. "Is that Danzo?" said Snazzy, as Danzo was making his way towards her. He mumbled a few words, but you couldn't hear. You could only see the visual. Suddenly, Danzo unraveled the bandage over his eye. The entire group was shocked when they saw the three totem Sharingan. Sasuke was furious. How dare that man who was responsible for all of this use Uchiha Eye, as it made Sasuke's blood boil. "Just what in the hell is going on?" asked Natty. "Well, that old guy tried to play some genjutsu on me, from what I know, with that Sharingan. And those guys with the plain masses, it seems like they're his guards. It seems like they knocked out the other Anbu guards that were stationed there to watch me," said Teiwaya. "But how did you know that he was going to do this, Naruto?" asked Natty. "Well, you see, flashback. I guess I win again," said Naruto as he placed the cards down on the table, right in front of Teiwaya. "You're cheating," she said. "How can I be cheating?" "I don't know, but you're cheating some way, shithead," she said. "Still calling me that, are you?" said Naruto. "What? Got a problem with it?" she asked. "Yes, actually I do," he said, as he got up and started to step forward. She narrowed her eyes at him. "Well then, what are you gonna do about it?" she said. "Oh, nothing really," said Naruto. "I mean, I just want to know why you call me shithead. Why can't you call me Naruto? Or Naruto Kanji you like? Huh, you think I'm one of those idiotic girls who will fall all over you?" she said. "Oh, aren't you?" Naruto asked. "Of course not. You're not even my type. You're too soft." "Oh, soft, am I?" She was surprised that she was grabbed roughly around the waist, and Naruto pulled her close, surprising her. She faltered for just a bit before she raised her hand that was still patching the chain to punch them, but Naruto grabbed her fist. Too slow," he says. He stepped forward, going closer, making her step back. "Huh. Here you all giving me this big talk, and yet you are flustered as ever," he said, as he gently stroked her chin. "Why you?" "Hey," said Naruto, as he looked directly at her. "I need to do something for me." "Huh?" "What?" she said. "If you think I'm gonna sleep with you like that if you ask, then you better get that thought out of your mind, pal," she said. "Oh, it's not that. You see, I believe that someone is going to be coming here soon to try and use you against me." "What? Why would anyone try to do that? It's not like I care or you care about me." "Oh, well, you're going to be adopted in my clan. After all, you are going to be close to me. So, I want to put a precaution just in case." "A precaution?" "Yeah," said Naruto, as he reached into his pouch. He then suddenly pulled out a small box. As he opened it, what are those? Contact lenses. They are packed with nature chakra into the seal to keep you from falling under any influence of the Sharingan. I have flooded these with so much nature chakra, you won't be able to get hypnotized by any Sharingan genjutsu." "Sharingan? Isn't the Uchiha alone with the Sharingan? You think he's your enemy?" "No, I don't believe that he's the only one. But, can you do this for me?" Naruto asked. "Well, I guess I have to, because if I don't, I would get hypnotized by the Sharingan. But if you already know the person that's going to do this, why not just go and stop them now?" "I need evidence." "So you're using me as a guinea pig?" "No, not really. I just need your help. Come on. After all the time we spent together, can't you say that we're friends?" Don't friends help each other? I guess I still have to do it. Otherwise, I'll be hypnotized. So if it wasn't for that, you wouldn't help me at all in to ask. Why would I? Huh. You're still so hard on me. I wonder why. Probably because you like me, but you just don't know how to show your feelings. I mean, it's okay. I like you too. I mean, you don't have to be serious. All the time he says he leaned forward. But before he could do anything, she smashed her head right into his forehead, pushing him back. Get with your thick head already. You're not my type, she said. As Naruto hold on to his forehead. Huh, I guess you like to play rough. Well, we'll see soon enough. What's that supposed to mean? Well, we'll see how long you can hold out for. Well, don't hold your breath, she said. End of flashback. What? Said Jiraiya. How were you able to get Fuin Jutsu inside the seal? It took a lot of my natural chakra to contain it. After I created these two alone, it almost drained me. So it was extremely difficult, said Naruto. But it was worth it after all. We got this evidence on him. Is that enough evidence, Sasuke said. Well, that's not all, said Naruto. Stop, said Tsunade. Before anything else is said, you need to leave, she said, as she looked at Teiwaya. I'm sorry, but you're not even a citizen of Konoha yet, even though Naruto is going to adopt you in his clan. What? Said Sakura. You're going to do what? Well, I figure I can help her out, said Naruto. Is that all you want to do? Said Sakura. What's that supposed to mean? Said Naruto. Knowing you. Well, as she narrowed her eyes at him, as Naruto looked over to see Jiraiya give him a thumbs up, as he simply smiled back at Jiraiya. Can we get back to the point, said Tsunade. Alright fine, said Naruto. As he held on to Teiwaya's hand before she could say anything, the both of them vanished. Naruto then came back. So, as I was saying, that's not all. Danzo, root operatives. Tsunade narrowed her eyes at Jiraiya. Before Jiraiya spoke, we had a clue that there were still root operatives out there, but they were working in the shadows. But we had no idea where the base is located, because we knew that he hasn't cancelled the root program. Well, I have a clue, said Naruto. What? Said Tsunade. How do you... Maki, said Naruto. Who's Maki? Asked Kakashi. Well, it seems like Danzo knows that I'm, well, an outgoing person. So he decides to send one of his root operatives, a girl known as Maki, to try and, well, seduce me. She claimed that she lived in the field district of the village. She even had a nice apartment there, and pictures of her family. Her two parents had died a couple years ago. It seems like she went to the academy and everything. Well, what does this have to do with Danzo? Asked Sakura. It's a lie, said Naruto. A fabricated backstory, just to put me off. But Danzo is not that smart. What do you mean? Asked Sasuke, speaking for the first time about this matter. Well, given from my experience, I know how a female acts and reacts. This girl, she's just too willing to do whatever it takes to get information. Not to mention, her reacting. It seems like she was given lines to study, to try and find a way to seduce me. But lucky thing I'm smarter, said Naruto. So I followed her, eventually, just to test my theory, to make sure I wasn't going crazy or something. And yeah, when I saw her head into the woods, and meeting up with other blank-faced envoys, I found out that she was a part of the organization. And why am I just hearing about this now? Asked Natty. I told you I had to get my information correct, to make sure I have everything before coming to you. And besides, I just started this a week ago. Well, if we have all of this information, we can finally take the bastard down, said Daddy. But we can't just kill all of the root operatives, said Naruto. As Kakashi looked towards Naruto, you have a plan in mind? Well, if Danzo is dead, they will need a new leader, someone to work with. Even though Danzo do shady and despicable things that he needs to die for, I can't help but say those root operatives are quite efficient. After all, none of us were able to find any of them, other from this one moment, because of how good I am. As Nelly eyebrow twitched, even in giving serious information, he still find a way to praise himself. So we need to keep them on a close leash. After all, they do belong to Konoha. They just work for the wrong part of Konoha. So what do you suggest? Well, I'm sure after Danzo's death, they would be free of any, markings or seals that he placed on them. What if he placed a seal to kill them on his death? Asked Kashi. I don't think that he would be that stupid. After all, he would be named as successor to work for him. And I believe that he would be keeping that successor close. So, the thing to do right now is take out the head. And then, control the body. But, we need to do this before you call a council meeting. Why? Asked Navi. Well, information like this tend to get leaked. Just by some source. So we can't have any of this going out. So once we dealt with him, then we will tell the others. And not to mention those two other civilians. Seeing that they're not even advisors anymore. After all, they love trying to run around inside of the civilian council. Sarutobi's your only advisor. What about Sensei, said Jiraiya. Shouldn't we be involving him in this? Well, we should talk to him, but not involve him, said Naruto. He's an old man right now. I don't believe that he can keep up with us young folks anymore. Well, you're getting old as well, Jiraiya, said Naruto. I think you need to hold out on this one. It's a couple years too early for you to be saying that, brat. After all, I'm still in my prime. Lady Hokage, said Sasuke. Huh? Can you perform an eye transplant, Sasuke asked. She looked towards him confused. Well, in theory, yes. But whose? Itachi eyes, he said. What about them, she asked. If I don't get an eye transplant, eventually the light will leave my eyes, and I will go blind. Yes, this is something I've been thinking about for a long time now. But the effects are getting worse, Sasuke said, as he had to blink several times looking at her, because his vision was getting a bit hazy. Well, I will have to see the body first, and remove the connection so there isn't any damage on the eyes. But yes, I can do it. Well then, we should sort out the rest of the information, and wait until Sasuke is fully healed up, before we do anything. After all, I'm sure that you're gonna want to be on this mission. Get rid of Danzo, Naruto said. Of course, Sasuke said, as he had a serious look in his eyes. Time skip. I'm back, said Naruto, as he made his way. Big brother Naruto, you're back, said Kushina as she rushed forward. She wasted no time as she leaped, as Naruto caught her and swung her around the hug, as she giggled. Finally, she said, don't tell me that you're going out on any longer missions, because you always take a long time to come back. Don't worry, I won't be going out on any long missions for now, he said. She then noticed. Who is this? Oh, this is Teiwaya. She will be staying with us from now on. So this is your house, shithead, said Teiwaya as she looked around. I must say, I never thought that it would be this big. Well, it's actually an entire compound, said Naruto. My father left it for me. But I'm glad you like it. I didn't say I did. Oh yeah. So where's your mom, Naruto said. Oh, she's out on date night with dad, but uncle is here. As Naruto walked around, making his way as Teiwaya followed behind him. Oh, hey there, uncle, he said. Oh, so you're back, she said as she turned her head. Naruto? Who's that, she asked. Oh, this is my new friend. Her name is Teiwaya. Uncle looked at the girl for a second. Wait. I know you, uncle, said she got up. You. Flashes went through uncle's mind. Of Naruto facing off against Orochimaru when he was stuck inside that barrier. And this girl was one of them, holding the barrier. She might have gotten a bit older, but it was her. Uncle quickly moved forward towards the table where her pouch was as she quickly pulled a kunai. Uncle quickly dashed forward, but Naruto stepped in front of her. Stop, he said. Naruto, she's the enemy. Listen to me. Remember that I told you that we captured someone from Orochimaru organization? Yeah, said Uncle. Well, you see, she's that person. And she's on our side, said Naruto. What? And you guys just believe her like that? Well, it seems they do. And this doesn't involve you. So you can butt out, said Teiwaya. Uncle gripped tight near the kunai. Who the hell do you think you're talking to? Who else but you? Now I suggest you be quiet, because this doesn't involve you. Alright? Uncle gripped tight even more. Calm down, Uncle. She's just a bit feisty. A lot like you. I'm nothing like her. She's nothing like me. The two of them shouted. As Naruto sighed, as he never thought about this, Uncle and Teiwaya's personality, they were a bit alike, so he thought that they would get along. He never thought they would clash like this. Hey, look here, Meanie. Don't just come in here and shout at Uncle like that. After all, she can kick your ass, said Kushina. Kick my ass? Huh. I would kill her before she even know it. Oh, so you think that way, huh, bitch, said Uncle. What'd you just call me? You heard me, bitch. Huh, coming from a whore. I mean, look at the way you dress. I can tell that you love to be at least taken by at least 10 guys at once. Just by looking at you. Naruto, please tell me this girl's not staying here, because if she does, I'm gonna kill her. You really think that you can possibly do that, said Teiwaya? I would kill you before you even know it. She's right, big brother. I don't like this one, said Kushina. You be quiet as well, brat. Before I shot you, hey, said Naruto. Teiwaya turned. It was then that she saw a look in his eyes. A look that scared her. She never saw him look at her like that before. And she felt a shiver went down her spine. I suggest you don't finish that sentence. And also, you need to calm down. I made a deal with you that I won't leave you out in the cold. But if you can't get along with my family, I won't be choosing you over them. And watch how you talk to her, said Naruto, as he looked at Kushina. The only thing Teiwaya could do was nod, as she felt this strange fear that went down her spine just by looking at his eyes. And then the next second they returned back to normal. It was like some kind of a switch. She turned back. I'm sorry, okay, she said. Kushina simply smiled. You know what, you don't seem that bad. You're just a bit misunderstood. So I guess it's okay. So, what do you say, Uncle? Asked Kushina. As Uncle sighed, as much as she doesn't like this bitch, she could tell that Naruto had some faith in her. After all, he wouldn't bring her here. And she must have gone through the same thing. Being used as one of Orochimaru's lackey, as one of his puppets. I guess it's fine with me. Naruto smiled. No, that's what I like. All my girls getting together. You know I will never argue with you, big brother, said Kushina, as she jumped forward. As Naruto hugged her, as he whispered, that's why you're my favorite. And you're my favorite too, she whispered back. Hey, can you go show Teiwaya one of the rooms that she can stay in, said Naruto. Oh, sure thing. Hey, follow me, said Kushina, as she went off. As Naruto nodded as Teiwaya went off behind her. You seem to trust that girl rather easily, said Uncle. Oh, trust me, she's not a bad person. She's just misunderstood and a bit headstrong. And after all, she wouldn't be doing anything stupid here. You can trust me on that, right? Well, I do trust you, said Uncle. Well then, if you trust her, then I guess I trust you, so I have nothing else to say. So what happened? What urgent mission happened to make you just disappear like that? Well, a lot actually. As Naruto sat down, Uncle and told her what happened. Well, he didn't tell her about the Itachi part. He told her about the mission and that Itachi was dead. But not about the part where wiping out the Uchiha clan was a coup. As that was sensitive information right now that he wasn't going to share. Time skip. 2 days later. It seems like Teiwaya learned her lesson from when she was trying to speak well, rude to Kushina. So she didn't give off that same angry, pissed off vibes when she spoke to Yujito. She was a bit calmer, but she still had her ways, but nothing too rash. And you just couldn't hate Kushina because she was just so friendly and nice. Teiwaya didn't know why, but the kid was just so nice to her. And it made her feel, well, good. So, she wouldn't mind having a kid around. But things was going good. At least she was out of that snake pit. And at least here, she can have a better life. Even, soon enough become a ninja. Huh, she never thought that she would say that. Becoming a ninja of Konoha. Well, that's strange. She never thought of that idea. If she told herself last year that she would be a ninja of Konoha, she would curse at her old self, saying that she was an idiot and she didn't have any sense. But now, here she was, living here. It has been at least 6 days now. Nothing really interesting happened. Well, that damn blonde kept on flirting with her over and over again. And it was really starting to get to her. The reason being, she started to like it. I mean, a lot. Being a person of her caliber, she had done it before. And now being, well, in a peaceful environment. But he was just so cocky, so she didn't want to give him the satisfaction. but he was slowly breaking her away for her to give in. But she was still holding on to hope. She could also tell that this uncle girl was interested in him as well. Uncle was a lot like her, even though most of the time they didn't get along. And they nearly killed each other when KY ate her chips because Uncle was super pissed. But at least, it was better than being in a snake hellhole. Meanwhile, oh, so are you living here now, Naruto asks. Oh, no, Sakura said, with a small blush on her face. I'm just helping Sasuke. After all, he can't see properly right now. Can I come in, said Naruto. Sakura nodded as Naruto made his way inside. He made his way towards the bedroom where Sasuke was, sitting on the bed. His head, his eyes were wrapped in bandages. Well, I guess there's been no problem so far. Well, everything has been going fine, said Sasuke. And you seem much calmer. Have you thought about things? Well, after hearing the old man, I still am angry. But Sarutobi made visual points that let me understand things a lot better. To make me understand that Itachi was just a righteous man that wanted peace, nothing but peace. But still, Danzo, to get rid of this hatred burning, I need to get rid of him. Well, I already told you that I'm with that plan, so you don't have to convince me. And I spoke to Sarutobi as well. He knew that Danzo has changed a long time ago. And if we are able to take control of Root, then Danzo will have nothing in the equation. After all, that's a big reason why Sarutobi didn't have him arrested or killed a long time ago. Even after, Danzo tried to kill him numerous times. Root, they were still a good part of Konoha doing the missions that most ninjas didn't do. So what are we gonna do with them, Sasuke said. Well, I was actually hoping that you would take them. What? Well, the Uchiha clan was well known for their police force. And don't you think that it's time for you to take the proper head and a seat at the table at the council for the Uchiha clan head? I've been thinking about that. Not having my eyesights have given me time to think about a lot of things lately. Yeah, about that. That must really suck, said Naruto. Well, it's not that bad. It's giving me time to relax. Well, being here with Sakura, I guess that helped a lot better. What do you mean by that, Sasuke asks. Oh, come on. Don't tell me you haven't even pulled a move yet. I mean, she's here with you almost every day. Just watching over you and protecting you. I mean, really, Sasuke? As Sasuke's cheeks became pink in embarrassment. I haven't done anything yet, he said. As Naruto sighed, you know, I think you need a bit more teaching from me. What? What if you ever teach me? Who was the one that told you to open up more? Well, you, Sasuke said. Well, I think it's time that you take it a step further. Well, it's not like I haven't... What? Said Naruto. I did went on a training trip for 4 years. I experienced things, he said. Oh? Like what, Naruto asked. This is really uncomfortable, Sasuke said. You're just not that social. But when those bandages come off your eyes, you're going to see things fully. Because it seems like your eyes have been rather cloudy lately. And not to mention your life goal. Things have changed for you now, huh? Well, I didn't want to restore the clan, Sasuke said. And now you have the best opportunity to do it. So how long until those things come off? At least a week more, Sasuke said. Well, that will give you enough time. Well, I'm off. I'm going on a mission. What? I thought you were going to stay in the village until this time. Well, this is kind of a personal call. Let me guess. One of those other girls. Well, yeah, one of them is in trouble. You remember Koyuki, right? You mean the daimyo of the land of spring? Yeah. It seems like her border is being attacked a lot lately by missing names that is cutting off all supply transfers. So I'll see you when I return, said Naruto. Just hurry up and heal so we can get this over with. See ya. And with that, Naruto headed off. Meanwhile, near the land of spring, on a mountainside, a large group of rain ninjas were taking off their headbands as they were changing into bandit clothing, moving their ninja attire. Up on the top of the hill, There stood Madara Uchiha, well, Obito under his mask, with a smirk on his face. Things were going exactly as planned. Meanwhile, near to the border of Hine no Kuni to light the fire, Lord's cylinder of paper was flying through the air. Inside of it was none other than Nagato in his mechanical walker, along with the summoning pain. He turned and looked at Konan. You look nervous. No, I'm fine, she said. Konan, you can tell me if you are. Well, I am. For you, she said. Are you having doubts right now about my power? It's not that. I just feel... Feel what? Asked Nagato. I feel like itch in the back of my mind, telling me that something bad is going to happen. Something really bad. And you going along with this plan, you're risking the hidden rain. For once I have to agree with Madara. This plan will force him to step into the rain in a fury of rage. What if he ends up bringing out the Nine Tails right there? That won't happen. I will stop him before he even enter. We will be ready. No life will be lost. I will take him down in his frustration. But isn't this going a bit too far? This is just mindless killing. For the world to truly grow up after receiving pain, sacrifice has to be made. But she's just a kid, said Konan. Sacrifices has to be made, said Nagato. Konan sighed. Konan, have you lost faith in me? I have not, but as long as you have not lost faith, he said, cutting her off, then the plan shall work. Konan didn't know about this plan. The back of her mind was just, well, telling her that something bad. This was going to lead to their downfall. But Nagato would not listen to her. But guys, be in subscribe right here for the next part of this or no to do. Like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn the bell notifications as they posted. Remember to share to all of your friends and social media platform. But I'm off for now. See you guys soon. Peace.